Take a look at this XRP legal battle heats up. Deaton challenges SEC's overreach and wins. When it comes to the steps taken by the SEC, John E. Don, who is a supporter of XRP token owners, has expressed significant concerns. There were 75,000 XRP holders, and he used $75,000 of his own money to fight for them. Throughout the course of the court procedures, Deaton brought attention to further misbehavior on the part of the SEC. An opinion that has been maintained by Deaton for a long time was validated by a federal judge who ruled that XRP is not a security. Not only does this judgment undermine the SEC's reputation, but it also calls into question the position that the SEC is taking. Regardless of the decision made by the court, the Securities and Exchange Commission considers XRP to be a securities. As a result of this gap, the credibility of the SEC is called into question. In addition to this, Deaton came to light a troubling collaboration between the Securities and Exchange Commission and the office of Senator Elizabeth Warren. Before a Senate hearing, a Freedom of Information Act request led to the discovery of email correspondence between the office of Warren and the chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Gary Gensler. Because of this, the link that exists between regulatory agencies and political parties is brought into question from an ethical standpoint. Gensler was reportedly asked questions by Warren's staff, which included his thoughts on the impact that Bitcoin will have on financial inclusion, as stated in the emails. The SEC is the target of a legal action that has been initiated by Binomial Exchange, LLC. It plans to file the case in the hopes of preventing the Securities and Exchange Commission from asserting joint control over the agreements it has for XRP futures. With its statement, Binomial believes that the jurisdiction to regulate these contracts is solely vested with the CFTC. As a result, the Securities and Exchange Commission's assertion of jurisdiction constitutes an unwarranted overreach. This topic is particularly pertinent at the moment because Binomial is getting set to launch the first physically deliverable XRP futures. There was a self-certification of these futures by the CFTC on August 9, 2024. By taking legal action, Binomial is drawing attention to the ongoing regulatory issues that are occurring inside the digital asset market. The action also seeks to safeguard participants from the excessive jurisdictional reach of the Securities and Exchange Commission. In the event that the verdict is favorable, the regulatory framework for digital asset derivatives would be clarified. It may also serve to bolster the recent decision of the court that XRP does not qualify as a security. The conclusion reached in this case may have a significant impact on the restrictions that are in place in the United States regarding digital assets. Those who are taking part in the conversation are looking forward to finding out fresh information as it continues. The Binomial lawsuit has the potential to influence the future of rules pertaining to digital assets. Above the lock, Ripple's CEO slams the U.S. U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia Judge Alice Torres ruled in July 2023 that XRP coin is not a security. Ripple Labs and the cryptocurrency industry generally saw this decision as a partial win. In spite of this ruling, commissions like the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission continues to believe that XRP is a security. The chief executive officer of Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse, criticized the SEC for their contempt for the court's ruling in a harsh attack. He spoke out when Binomial's complaint, which questioned the CZ stance on XRP futures, was filed. Brad Garlinghouse, an SEC detractor. The recent tweet by Brad Garlinghouse was an expression of his discontent with the SEC and a criticism of the agency's decision to ignore the court's ruling that XRP is not a security. He was informed that the SEC's actions show a disregard for legal constraints. At the same moment that Garlinghouse raises his complaint, the C is pressing its stance in the Binomio case. Binomio, an exchange for cryptocurrency derivatives, challenge the attractive categorization of DexR futures as a security future. There should be oversight of Bitcoin futures by the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, BAFS, according to Binomio, since XRP itself has not been deemed a security. The Securities and Exchange Commission was accused by Binomio in its court filing of abusing its authority and imposing unnecessary regulatory burdens on the exchange. Binomio argued that the SEC's stance goes against the court's ruling that XRP is not a security, lending credence to Ripple's legal argument. Meanwhile, Ripple's chief legal officer, Stuart Alderati, joined the conversation and voiced his disapproval of a regulating body that doesn't follow court rulings. It was brought to light by Alderati that the SEC's aggressive practices are in violation of the Constitution, which further casts doubt on the legality of the agency. He used the actions of the Securities and Exchange Commission SEC as an alarming illustration of a regulatory authority that is using threats to force compliance even after being rebuffed in court. The cryptocurrency industry has raised multiple concerns in response to the SEC's determination to regulate XRP as a security. At the same time, pro-RXP lawyer Bill Morgan and legal expert John Deaton have both cast doubt on the agency's intentions by accusing the Securities and Exchange Commission of abusing its power. For instance, Deaton mentioned a recent case involving digital licensing where the SEC was penalized for misconduct, adding gasoline to the fire of mistrust over the regulator's approach. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse criticized the SEC for going against a court order that XRP is not a security. Stuart Alderoty, Ripple's chief legal officer, has claimed that the SEC has undermined the company's credibility through its aggressive and unlawful actions in the case. A court ruling determined that XRP was not a security, and Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse has been highly critical of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission for ignoring this ruling. The XRP lawsuit has gone unnoticed by the Securities and Exchange Commission, according to Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse. In the event that the XRP court decision is disregarded, Reba Raitra, the Ripple custody service, will ensure an extra degree of security for your cryptocurrency assets. The CEO of Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse, has condemned the Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse expressed his displeasure with the recent steps taken by the Securities and Exchange Commission to uphold its stance in the Bitnomio case. Bitnomio is a cryptocurrency derivatives exchange that objected to the XRP futures being classified as security futures. In a recent tweet, Garlinghouse slammed the regulator, saying it was behaving independently by ignoring the court's decision against it. The court had already ruled that XRP was not a security in the case that had been presented, but this regulator is dead set on the contrary, especially in the Bitnomio because it's pursuing at the moment. Stuart Alderoty, on the other side, was critical of the CC's operations. After this, he continued by slamming the SEC for what he saw as its aggressive and unlawful actions in the case, which he claimed were undermining public trust in the agency. An argument has broken out with Bitnomio and the Securities and Exchange Commission over whether or not XRP features are under the SEC's purview, which poses a problem for Bitnomio's XRP futures. Having said that, XRP has not been ruled a security by the court. Bitnomio further claims that the XRPers are regulated by the CFT, not the SEC, and not the C. The exchange said in its court filing that the SEC had overstepped its authority and imposed unnecessary and undesirable regulatory restrictions on the exchanges. For a long time now, the SEC and cryptocurrency businesses have been at odds over how to regulate digital assets. In its submission, the exchange concurred with Ripple's assertion that the SEC's position is directly opposed to the court's ruling. Nonetheless, Nomail's challenge represents the most recent salvo in this fight. By giving XRP nod for its superior utility and currency-like qualities, this decision set it apart from Bitcoin and Ethereum. Concerns over the Bitcoin industry ramifications. Emails written by William Hyman, a former director of the Securities and Exchange Commission, include sensitive material that the courts have ordered released. Any financial commitments made in reliance on the data presented herein are entirely the responsibility of the respective parties. It is highly recommended that you consult an informed expert and do your own research before making any investing decisions.